Welcome to the second episode of Famous Figures and Gems. Today, Cleopatra bets Mark Antony she can spend 10 million sesterces on one dinner, then drinks a pearl dissolved in vinegar.
But did the pearl actually dissolve? In just 1 minute, we're going to put the most famous gem legend in history under the microscope. Unveil once and for all if the legend is true.
We reveal the tricks to tell natural pearls from cultured ones, using light, magnification, and X-ray structure.
The story comes from Pliny the Elder in his Natural History. Cleopatra owned a pair of pearls said to be the largest the world had ever seen. She wagered Antony that one banquet would cost more than 10 million sesterces. When the second course arrived, only a single cup of strong vinegar stood on the table. She removed one enormous pearl earring, dropped it into the vinegar, waited until it disappeared, and swallowed the liquid. The second pearl was later cut in half and placed as pendants on the statue of Venus in the Roman Pantheon.
Now the gemology. Natural pearls are almost pure calcium carbonate, specifically aragonite, held together by a thin organic protein called conchiolin. When calcium carbonate meets acetic acid, the reaction is simple. The pearl slowly turns into calcium acetate, water, and carbon dioxide gas. In modern laboratory tests, a 1-gram natural pearl takes between 24 and 36 hours to fully dissolve in 5% vinegar, not seconds, not minutes, hours.
The dramatic instant dissolve we imagine is chemically impossible at the dinner table.
Under the microscope, the difference is clear. A natural pearl shows concentric, irregular layers of nacre, like the rings of a tree, but wavy and organic. A cultured pearl reveals a perfect round bead nucleus with only a thin skin of nacre on top. When we partially dissolve a natural pearl and look at 40 times and 100 times magnification, the remaining nacre layers peel away unevenly, leaving a chalky, porous surface. That is what Cleopatra's pearl would have looked like after hours in acid, not after a few seconds.
So the story is almost certainly Roman propaganda meant to paint Cleopatra as extravagantly decadent. Yet the chemistry is real. A pearl can dissolve in vinegar. It just cannot do it fast enough to win a bet during dinner. While we're on Cleopatra and gems, let's look at something she really did use: Lapis Lazuli. Egyptians crushed the stone into fine powder for the deep blue eye makeup that framed her famous gaze. This iconic blue makeup was a symbol of status and beauty in ancient Egypt.
One story exaggerated for politics, the other confirmed by archaeology and gemology. That is the difference we look for in every episode, the real stone behind the famous name.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Famous Figures in Gems. If you enjoyed discovering the real science behind Cleopatra's legendary pearl, make sure you subscribe and follow the playlist for a new story every week. Which historic figure and which gem should we examine next? Drop your suggestion in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you under the microscope.